Back on Gertie Rude, back again on a, is it Tuesday? Tuesday mood. Yes, I think it is Tuesday. Seems to have been Tuesday all day, so please tell me it is Tuesday. Right, well, this is basically for my subscribers who may or may not be crossovers from other YouTubers. In fact, a lot of you I know are going to be saying, Gertie, what's going on? Anyway, the big reveal at the moment all over social media came in last night at some point. I can't remember, quite early evening. I got a message from somebody that a certain person who shall remain nameless, but is being reported in every newspaper in Britain, was up in court for just generally being a Twitter cyber-stalking freakzoid weirdo. One of the crew, let's just put it that way, one of the crew. And this is Fiona Hesketh earlier doing a response video. I felt really bad for her, actually. Really upset, and that kind of upset me a bit. But I'm not going to play it all, obviously, because you copyright strike me, won't you, darling? I don't blame you. It's the thing, you know, darlings. Yes, all us YouTubers, yeah, we should just go around shitting on each other, shouldn't we? Because apparently it's the thing that's done nowadays. Of course she won't bleed copyright strike me. I'm just doing a quick reaction, but listen to this.
Hope you're all having a lovely day. Yes, sugar in court. Yes, you read right. It was a few days ago.
She's gone to court. Yeah, she's gone to bleeding court. She's gone to court. She did. Oh dear, and it weren't for the blossom on her patio, this bleeding old malt. You'll find out in a minute. Come on, darling.
This is actually me.
I'll move you back. Move you back.
Incandescent with rage. So I'm trying to keep a lid on this. I'm trying to be reasonable.
She's an Aries. She don't very often get cross. But when she does get cross, she reminds me of me. I have to hide behind the sofa, you know, my darlings. It's all very disconcerting. No, Aries, when they do lose their shit, they lose their shit. But 10 minutes later, she'll be okay and more rational and reasonable. And formulating a game plan, one would have thought, if she's an Aries like what I is. Come on, darling.
I'm trying very hard to look for an explanation.
There isn't one.
Why this woman chose to do this to Graham and me and the rest of our family.
Yeah. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. I'll stop you there, sweetheart, right? I'll tell you exactly what it is. It begins in J. I think it's got 7 letters, ends in S. And I think she's it. As are all of them. The Big Reveal, Twatalanta, Bernie and the Carver, Ray of Sunshine, Wren, oh God, the inimitable Wren, or Seagull as I call her. That other old thing, Malice and Viley. They all form a little cabal on X of people. There's some peripheral people as well whose names escape me, do you know what I mean? Lucky me. But they're the main sort of crutch, nugget, nadir, knob of the cabal that's sort of... well, there's 2 particular ones who I've already named that actually seem to work all the others. They get them wound up to such a pitch. They start, like, posting stuff about Buckingham Palace and dodgy backpacks. I'll just say that. Just say that, leave it there. I don't want to be a bitch. Right, let's go. I don't want to impregnate myself. Right, let's go, darling, come on.
Kill us.
Right.
Well, she knew damn well, and she bragged. I know, he's got cancer. Oh, he hasn't got cancer, he's lying
Yeah, I
about
read
cancer.
that. I read that as well, darling. I've got all the screenshots if you need them.
Vividly remember it all.
Yeah. So do I.
I equally vividly remember 3 other YouTubers joining in.
Oh, yeah.
It was very funny.
Oh. Now, who were they? Now, let me just think. Who could they possibly have been? Could they have been the same YouTubers that I've had to have the police out 3 times over? And the only reason they weren't arrested is because I said to just leave it. And now he's crowing that apparently he sent me a cease and get pissed, which he printed off of Google. And the police came round to my house and they sat and I showed them my work and we had a good laugh. Honestly, he looked at me, do you know what I mean? I'm funny. And if you don't laugh with me, you'd laugh at me. And he looked through it and he said, if anything, he's threatening you and that's malicious communication, that's harassment. You can write a statement and we'll arrest him. But I thought to myself, and it was also, in defence, It was the anniversary, a second anniversary of my husband's death, and I was due at a church service. And I'd already given this man enough of my time, so I said, well, look, just leave it this time. But if anything else happens, yeah, I'll be back in touch. So I've got an open, what's it called, link. And he hasn't done anything. I haven't heard from him. He's left me alone, so that's fine. But, yeah, but as the men have sort of slunk backwards, because I believe, this is my personal opinion, and I'm entitled to my personal opinion, and it's not shared by any other YouTuber, basically, because I haven't spoken to them. I believe they were all spoken to at one point, and I think it was about the beginning of July. That's what I think, and I'm entitled to that opinion. But the women weren't, because the women weren't the scary ones at the time. We were scared of the men. Well, I can't say we. Me, I was scared of the usernames who I thought were men, or I was sure were men. The ones that were women, I wasn't really bothered about, because they're just women. Do you know what I mean? I'm not scared of them.
Especially from January to June of this year. That's when I just stopped looking on X. I just stopped. And yeah, they're all going to go down like dominoes.
Yeah, it's so much better for your health as well when you don't go on X. I only go on there to shitpost, really, and I'm a bitch on there. There you go, I'm a bitch. I always think, you've got to fight fire with fire. There's no way you could talk sense into these people, and there's no way X would ever help you. I've gone on there, and I've seen a YouTuber, a very well-known YouTuber who they love being called to, with a, let's say, a rather large phallic symbol. Let's say that, with the male YouTuber's face superimposed on it, and I reported it. Obviously, I reported it, and it's from Twatalanta. And YouTube said, well, they haven't broken any guidelines. So I started to get the hang of not YouTube, X. Sorry, scrub that. So it was on X, and I reported it to X. And X came back at me and said, well, they haven't broken any guidelines. And that was when I first began to realise the low bar at which X operates. And that's when I thought, well, it takes one to know one. And you've got to fight fire with fire. So when they start on me, I give them both barrels. Nobody's
because this
fault.
woman's going to squeal like a little bitch, as Trevor says. Now, sugar.
Oh,
sugar.
sugar,
I've gone all
sugar.
dark. This bloody phone,
You are my
when I get a
candy
new
girl.
one, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. Launch it into outer space, I think. Where do I start? Well, let's start with my necklace, shall we? Because I'm seeing that as an explanation, because this...
Oh, dear. Well, I'll be beggared. That might be why I'm getting it, because I have Jewish ancestry. Don't say I've said though. But I don't like anything that's going on in Gaza. Every time that anything happens that adults cause throughout the world, whether it's, I don't know, like that, or a war, or civil summit unrest, or this, that, and the other going on, I always think of the kids. I don't really care about the adults. Adults are sort of like they choose, and they're like, I don't know, self-evolving or whatever, aren't they? They're self-thingy-bob. But kids aren't. They just have to go along with whatever adults are creating in the world around them. So I always take the part of the children, always. And then the animals. And to be fair, adults, I really don't give a stuff. I really don't. I'm over them. Right, let's go.
Woman who has been up in Leeds Magistrates Court
Aha.
for threatening to bomb Buckingham Palace. Remember that?
Didn't Jimmy Savile come from Leeds? Oh, sorry, move on.
And this is going to be an edited video.
And the Yorkshire Ripper.
So for anyone
And it appears Yorkshire pudding.
who's new, who wasn't around at the time, back in May of this year, on the 21st of May, and I think the 22nd or 23rd of May, I uploaded a couple of videos about this very subject. A sugar threatening to bomb Buckingham Palace.
I don't think she was a sugar. Like totally, I mean, I'm 100%, behind what this YouTuber's saying, and every other YouTuber. But my personal opinion, I don't think she's that intelligent. I really don't. None of them are. They're not sugars per se in the common vernacular of the word, in the common meaning of the zeitgeist at the moment. Sugar, we all know what sugar means. I don't believe she's a sugar. I just believe that she's a cyber-stalking maniac that towed up with some men. And there was a certain man that may or may not ride a motorbikey that went on a tour in the early part of the year. Did he or did he not? Or is it just me? He's got quite a failing sort of YouTube channel. Won't talk about that though. And an equally failing X account as well. And he had to delete it at exactly the same time as I said, it was the beginning of July, when they all deleted them. But this other particular YouTuber may or may not have a scooter. He may have a bike, he may have a scooter. It could be, what is it, a Segway, something like that. And he did do a tour of Britain. He filmed and put up on it. I haven't watched it, but I'm reliably informed. Where he went sort of north from Suffolk. He sullied forth. And he did stop in certain places. And me can't helpeth but thinketh, did he stoppeth in Yorkshire-ith? Did he? Did he, YouTube viewers? And did the 50-something-year-old, looking 70-something-year-old, aforementioned tuber, stop at this, well, Yorkshire pud, who is older than me, YouTube viewers? I know what you're saying. Shut up, Gert. That's not even possible. It is. This whole thing's older than your old Gert. Yes. Can't say her name. Even though it's in all the papers, like Avid says later on in this video. Just Google it. You'll get all the news. Of course, she works for government. Which is funny because that's a sort of common theme that I found when you go into the backgrounds of a lot of these online trolls, apart from the psychotherapist. She's just... nothing, no. Yeah, not that one. And not the one with the bike. And not the other two men. But some of the other periphery ones, when you actually find out who they are and you trace them, they actually have government appointed positions. So, that, I mean, does that mean? Does it just mean that they're so shitty at their jobs that they have to go home and just be cruel and mean to everybody on X because they can? I mean, you can go out and kick a homeless person, but it doesn't mean you would do it. You know, not that I'm obviously advocating for that, but you know, you can hit a dog, but you wouldn't do it. And it shows you the mettle of the person that when you're actually got that situation where you can do that, and you do it, and it's not in defence, it's in attack. I do it. I just do it. Just, someone's got to say something. And I give them both barrels. Once they start on me, I give them both barrels. And I'm usually hilarious because, I mean, have you seen me? But, yeah, I've got terrible bleeding hay fever at the moment because I live in an orchard and they're all full of living fruit, people. Do any of you out there want any bloody fruit? I can't get rid of it. So, yes, so where are... Oh, yeah, we're still on this. Yes, it's all happening. It's all happening.
The troll account name was at Oliver Cromwell.
Aha! Aha!
I'm not going to name this lady.
Not old Divya Cotwomble, was it? Old Divya Cotwomble? I'm sure it was. Because I name them all. I always give everybody a new name. I've done it all my life. Whoever I meet. Apart from people I like, obviously. But when you meet people that are slightly, well, ski-whiff, I usually give them another name. And this particular cyber-stalking freakzoid, I used to call old Divya Cockwomble. Actually, I thought she was a bloke. And I'll tell you why I thought she was a bloke, because she was so aggressive. And she had that kind of, like, male energy where, you know, like, I haven't sort of been laid since 1983. That type of male energy that they've just got old and they're bitter and they're twisted. When I heard it was a lady, I could not believe it. Well, actually, yeah. Yeah, I'm very being performative. I could quite believe it.
On this video, because she has been named in the newspapers, Daily Mail,
wow.
all of them. And yes, I will be contacting her local newspapers. I don't know where to start with this one, actually. I'm aghast. I mean, what in the hell did we ever do to this woman who we'd never heard of before in our lives?
I know. But you see the thing... Sorry, darling, let me put you better.
And now I've got one of her friends.
That's better. She looks lovely. Doesn't she love it? I'll tell you what. She's a good-looking woman, fine-looking lady. She's got lovely legs as well. And I'm not saying that in a thingy way because I'm an old girl. I'm just saying. She's my sister's age. She is my sister's age. Yes. Where was I? Oh, yes. So, anyway, there's that, isn't there, really? And, yeah, she's up in court. And I hope she goes away. I hope she goes to prison. I hope other people that have been affected by this monster sue the bitch, really. To be fair. That's what I'm saying. I've got a few screenshots of nasty comments she's made towards me. Do you know what I mean? Don't care. But everyone else, good luck to you all. And it's nice to see some justice. I'm really pleased that Trevor's got he's got his channel back, and hopefully things are moving on. I mean, what this family have been through, I've been where Avid and Grahame are, and I've also walked the path that they are now currently walking. I don't want to say no more than that. And I cannot even begin to tell you the hell, absolute every living day hell, where you live, you're trying to make sense and you're trying to grasp at every possible thing you could possibly grasp at. And then to have this going on in the background, I mean, I could barely breathe when I was going through it with my husband, and you smile and you try and keep everything normal. And in my situation, I had a child and he was younger then. So you had to keep everything normal and happy. But very often when he was at school, we would just sit, hug each other and cry and cry and cry, you know, because it's a horrible thing to be going through. And sometimes you just needed that. So I would say we all need to, like I said before, support this family, the Heskeths, their children as well. Lady Faith, she's a lovely, lovely girl. Really down to her, very much like her mum and dad. We need to be present for them. We need to be mindful. We need to be careful with the words that we use. And we just need to send some love and hugs and support forever until whatever, hopefully everything comes out all right for these guys. Wish them our best and our love. And as for the other ones, it's like I've been saying on Twitter all afternoon. Well, we're not far away from Halloween's, are we, darling? So that could be a whole new ball game, couldn't it, for your Auntie Gert? Auntie Gert, yes, and Halloween on X. It's going to be such fun, my darlings. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, good night. I hope you've been able to read between the lines of what I'm saying. I have to be careful what I'm saying, because these people report me for literally everything. And I mean, I never get contacted by YouTube, but I've been on YouTube since 2011, and I know how YouTube works, so I can tell when something's happening and they're holding your subs back or they're holding your viewer count down. And you know, it's because they just mass report me. Apparently it's a thing. If you don't like a channel, just keep reporting them, even though there's no basis to report them. Just report them anyway, and that will affect them. I mean, it's the trick they played on a certain well-known, decorated PTSD suffering ex-war veteran. They did the same with him, but he's swum out of it. I'm not really big enough to swim out of it, but I'll just keep carrying on anyway. It doesn't matter. Sodom, that's what I'll say. Bleeding Sodom. Anyway, in no time at all, I'm going to be wishing you a very happy Christmas, aren't I, guys? So, I tell you, I don't know where you are, but it's like about the 29th, 30th of August, that was it. The sun went out and it was like spring, and all the leaves are falling off the bleeding trees where I am, and it's cold in the morning, it's dark in the morning. Oh dear, bring back summer, all's forgiven. Anyway, love you and leave you, bye-bye now.